Good afternoon everybody, and welcome to another video from Tall Travels. So today is an absolutely beautiful, although rather blustery day here in St. Petersburg. We can see barely a cloud in the sky, a few low-flying fluffy ones over there. So boys and girls, today's video is going to be about why I absolutely love St. Petersburg. When you come to Russia and you tell people that you're living here or you're spending extended time here, the number one question straight away is always, why? Now this is the same in many other Eastern European countries I've been to. It's a similar situation in Serbia and also in Ukraine. So especially with the younger generation who don't have much experience of living in other countries, they always assume that the grass is greener in Western countries, like the UK where I was born, and you know, they think the streets are paved with gold. Although sometimes here I meet people, Russian people, who have got a lot of experience in living in other countries, and they can understand you better. Now it's slightly different in Western countries, I think because they're more multicultural. So I remember when I was living in London many years ago, you might meet somebody from Vietnam, for example, and you know, it wouldn't be a big thing. They'd tell you they're from Vietnam, it'd be like, oh, cool, you know. Now if you tell people that you came to Saint Petersburg to study or for a job, you know, then people will absolutely understand that and they won't ask you too many other questions. But if you tell them, like me, you're location independent or a digital nomad, and out of all the countries in the world, you chose St. Petersburg in Russia, then they think you're crazy. So when many people think about having the opportunity to work remotely anywhere in the world, they often think of somewhere like Thailand. You know, they're on the sun lounger with their laptop and a cocktail in their hand. I've done the tropical lifestyle thing before. I've lived in Thailand, in Indonesia, and it's very nice. But these are places for me to spend holidays or extended holidays, not for living really. I mean, I consider the center of civilization to be Europe. So after a while in these tropical places, I missed Western things, let's say European things. So I miss architectural splendor like we have around here. I miss normal cafes, restaurants. I get sick of the humidity, the heat, the mosquitoes and all that stuff. So yeah, when I'm in these places, I sometimes get sick of sitting on little plastic chairs in the street meant for children, eating my noodles. Anyway, so enough jibber jabber, let's concentrate on exactly why I chose St. Petersburg in Russia. So yeah, it's very uplifting to live in a beautiful city like St. Petersburg. I would put it in the top 3 beautiful cities in all of Europe. It's probably up there with Budapest and also Rome. Now I tell you what, it's easy to take having all this architecture for granted when it's on your doorstep, but as soon as you go to some other more Soviet city in Russia, let's say, I don't know, like Novosibirsk, then you realize how lucky you are. So yeah, it really puts you in a good mood when you wake up on a beautiful sunny day in St. Petersburg like today, and you go for a walk around the city, you feel high as a kite. Now another reason I love St. Petersburg is because it's the most European feeling city in all of Russia. So, you know, you've got a bit of Russian culture, but also quite a lot of European feel. So what that means is you have lots of European conveniences here, like restaurants, cafes, bars, bakeries, absolutely everywhere, because you have a lot of small buildings. So, you know, a lot of places are very condensed, whereas in somewhere like Moscow, it's quite different because it's more of a Soviet feeling city and you've got huge buildings. So it's not quite so convenient in the morning if you want to, you know, go out and buy a loaf of bread or something. You might have to walk for 15 minutes or something, but here, yeah, probably less than a minute in a lot of places. Although saying that, it's only the very center of St. Petersburg that's like that. If you go a couple of miles out of the center, it becomes more Soviet looking, and then it resembles many other cities in Russia. Now, my next reason for loving St. Petersburg is going to sound a bit strange, because for many people it's a negative aspect of living in St. Petersburg, and that is the weather. So yeah, I mean, in wintertime it can be quite horrible here, you know, -20, blizzard conditions, humidity. It's a very humid city because of all the water here, the canals and the sea. So yeah, it can be pretty miserable in winter, but outside of winter it can be absolutely beautiful. So since I've been here on this trip, almost every day has been sunny. There's been very few rainy days. There's been a few snowy days, but not rainy days. So if we look today, just clear blue skies. So yeah, a lot of the beauty in St. Petersburg is actually up in the sky, because I just see some amazing things. Amazing sunsets, amazing colors, blues I've never seen before in the sky at sunset. So it's really awe-inspiring. Now, boys and girls, another reason I love St. Petersburg is also related to the weather. Now, it's the air quality. Now, St. Petersburg is one of the biggest cities in Europe. I don't know, it's got something like 5 or 6 million people. And the traffic here is quite bad, but the air quality is fantastic. So the reason for this is because it's always windy here. So you can be right in the center of the city here with lots of traffic around, and take a huge gulp of air and you feel absolutely perfect. It's like being in the mountains or something. Now, some people don't like the wind, so if that's you, then maybe you're not going to like living in St. Petersburg. But for me, it reminds me of the UK. So yeah, I love this windy weather. The only problem is it wreaks havoc with my quiff. Look at this, everybody. What an absolutely beautiful sight. The sun shining off the choppy water, boats full of tourists going up and down the river. We've got these swans here in the air. I think they're swans. I'm back on Nevsky, the main street in St. Petersburg, and as we can see, they're getting ready for Victory Day on the 9th of May. Right, everybody, moving on to the next reason I love St. Petersburg is the ladies. So I'm not going to lie to you, I do have an eye for the ladies, and being a single man in Russia is an absolute delight, because yeah, Russian women are known to be some of the most beautiful in the world. They also have traditional values. They're very feminine, educated, polite, and overall very nice company. So yeah, it's a very pleasurable experience in this country, becoming acquainted with the fairer sex. But it's not necessarily any easier than any other country to meet the right woman for you. Okay, everybody, so moving on to the next reason I love St. Petersburg is that the city has a very young vibe to it. So yeah, we have artsy students from all over Russia coming to St. Petersburg to study. So it's a rather liberal place. So you can see young people with pink hair, blue hair, dreadlocks, piercings, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, this kind of youthful vibe really adds to the atmosphere of the city. Okay, everybody, so moving on to the next reason I love St. Petersburg is because it's not suffering from over-tourism. So in many other places in Europe, there's capital cities like Krakow, Budapest, Prague, and although these are wonderful cities, you do have a problem with hordes and hordes of tourists, especially in the summer. So St. Petersburg has got something more of a special appeal, and the reasons for this are fairly clear. It's a little bit more difficult to enter the country, especially now. It's very difficult to enter the country, but even prior to the war, you needed a visa to come here. Now, prior to COVID and the war, they were starting some visa liberalization, so they're making it easier for people to come here. They started an electronic visa for many countries in the world, but I think this has been put on hold now due to COVID and obviously the war at the moment. So yeah, it's quite nice in a way when you're in St. Petersburg and you're not hearing so many foreign accents, let's say. It feels a bit more special to be here. But the problem with that is, you know, it's a little bit difficult to find people to spend time with, to have a beer with, for instance. Because, yeah, a lot of the expats that were living here, as soon as the war started, they disappeared. And very few new faces in town. Okay, everybody, so moving on to next reason I love spending time in St. Petersburg in Russia is the Russian people. So ever since I first started visiting this city in 2019, you know, everybody's been very friendly and courteous with me. So yeah, the people here are polite, open, always happy to help out and show me something in their city. And even since the war started, you know, on this trip, people would ask me where I'm from. I'd say I'm from the UK, and there's no negative reactions whatsoever. So, you know, some of them commented on the sad state of politics between Russia and my country, and that's it. So, yeah, that's been very nice. Right, everybody, so that's about it. So those of you from other countries have always been curious as to why I like spending time in this city, then I hope I've satisfied your curiosity. And to my followers from Russia, especially the younger ones who don't have a lot of travel experience and experience of living in other countries and assume, you know, most other places in the world are better, you know, maybe you've listened to some of the things I've said about this wonderful city and you'll think to yourself, well, to be honest, he's got a point there. You know, we do live in a fantastic city. So, yeah, thank you very much to you for treating me so well here and giving me some Russian hospitality. So take care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.